very involved member here, and Nick and Alex used to run around the halls of this congregation. It is my great honor to be with all of you here, to remember, to mourn, and to celebrate Nik Votichenko. Unitarian Universalism believes in the worth and dignity of all people. It affirms that we are on our own path to find meaning and connection with that which is larger than ourselves, whether you might call it God, or Buddha, or love, or human spirit, or community, or science, or nature. You are all welcome here in your full selves. We are so glad that you are here. In Unitarian Universalist congregations, it is a tradition to light a chalice to begin our worship. The chalice is a symbol of our faith, both a container for our community, this community today, and a light reflecting hope. Death is one of the hardest of life's realities, especially when someone dies so early, with so much of his life still ahead of him. Death is particularly painful. And when the light was as bright as Nick's was, it leaves a big hole in our hearts, a hole where Nik should be. Nik is not with us any longer in person, and we cannot conceive what this world will be like without that bright spirit. But he is not altogether gone, because we will remember him. We move our love for him into our hearts, and where he will live there as long as we do. There will be days and weeks and months ahead where we will wonder, what would Nik have thought about this? I wonder what Nik would do here. What would he say about this particular situation? Today we tell our stories and transition Nik's life into an indelible place in our hearts and our memories. And we're going to tell stories. I'm going to tell some stories, some family and friends are going to tell stories, and then there will be a chance for those of you who wish to tell a brief story of your time with Nik. Later, as we gather after the service and in the months ahead, we will continue to share our stories. For each person here holds a piece of who Nik was, the whole picture. By sharing together, we create a more whole and lasting memory, and by weaving together those threads that we each hold, we create a more full and rich tapestry of Nik Votichenko's life. Please join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, today we grieve. We are so sad at the loss of our partner, son, brother, dad, colleague, friend, Nik Votichenko. His life added music, humor, and joy to our lives, and we will miss that dearly. O universe that has meaning outside of ourselves and deep within ourselves, we bring many different understandings of the meaning of life to this service, and many different hopes for what lies beyond this life. Whatever our beliefs, we are glad that they are transcended by what unites us. Our relationship with Nik, our sense of loss, and our intention to remember, honor, and celebrate his life. Know that the mystery at the heart of the universe, which we call love, or God, or the human spirit, is with us and among us. We turn Nik, a child of the universe, back over to the energy he embodied so well. May the universe bring us comfort. even as we grieve. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Matt Williams. Nick was my oldest and best friend. We first met at Ingleside Middle School in the 7th grade, where his father, Peter, was a teacher. And while I never had Peter as a teacher, Nick did. And Peter also taught my older brother, Danny, and my older sister, Manny. And so we've known the Votichenko family for a very long time. Now, I was a shy kid in middle school, and Nick was the one that would talk to me. And Nick became my best friend. We would play video games together back in a time when you could actually link up your computers through your modem and directly dial each other. We'd type the phone line and we'd sit there. I never sat on the phone with someone throughout my life so much that I've been on the phone with Nick. I'm sure there are many people here that have had long conversations with him. So in middle school, I would spend a lot of time at Jonathan and Peter's house on 40th Street. And while we're there, we would do things outside. We would sit and we would talk. And there are times when Peter would ask us to take some time to clean out the manure from the horse pasture. And I spent a lot of time at their house, Tom and Ann's house on 3rd Street. We would go there, and I found myself there a lot, almost every Sunday. I remember it was always Sunday because I didn't have, when we were young, we didn't drive. So Ann would drive us, and I'd always call my mom and tell her that I was going to be home a little bit later because Ann was always finishing watching X-Files on Sundays. My mom would get upset because I would always call her after the X-Files started, but I didn't let her know that I would always wait and use that as an excuse just because I wanted to spend more time with Nick and maybe see how Mulder and Scully get out of this one. But as we went on, Nick and I went to high schools. Nick went to Arcadia and I went to Brophy for my freshman and sophomore year. And Nick and I remained close friends. We always spent that time together. And Nick called me one day and said they needed help with a play they were doing at Arcadia. And I came over and I helped them. And that's how I met the majority of the people in this room. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about Nick and our lives and the influence he's had on me, and I think all of us. And in that, I realized that Nick has been a very large influence on my life, on my beliefs, on my hopes. He's shown me unquestioning love and compassion throughout that time, and he has always brought us all together. And I'm sorry to say this, but people think we're weird. No, they do. Because as we go through this, we're in the hospital, we've been talking and sharing all these stories, and people don't seem to understand that a group of people like this can be this close to this long. And for me, I wouldn't know the most important people in my life outside my family if it wasn't for them. The people in this room, and I was thinking about that. As I went into high school, and I came over to Arcadia, it seems that there's a time in high school where a lot of times you find by high school things like your car, your first car. And I was looking around the room, and I remember that we can still define ourselves at that time. Marshall has Sport Tempo. And Tony with his Volkswagen, and Matt with Barracuda, and Matt Morris with that plum crazy chalice with the white vinyl interior. Or Jess always had the same Cavalier. It was fun. His dad worked for SRP and got them surplus auction. And so when something happened, we could never tell if it was the same car because she used to get a new one. But my van that I was trying to fix up. I remember I asked my dad to get a little money to fix it up, and my dad said, "I'm not contributing any more money to your Sinmobile." I told that to Nick, and Nick really liked that. And later, when he was working, had so many careers, and when he was working, he worked at a laser shop where they cut precision parts out of sheet metal. And he designed this little design for me. It's like a fish, but it had little horns and boots and a tail, and it said in the middle, Sinmobile. Put it on the back of my van. But Nick was, he was always there to help me. And I was always trying to be always there to help him. We worked on our cars together a lot. His first car, his brother Alice's little Corolla, that part of the children, what we call the shipmobile. And then he got a new one. He actually bought a car of his neighbor for $1. It was a Honda Accord, and man, we thought that thing was great. It had a sunroof. We could drive around with a shipmobile too. and then Nick had his 1973 sky blue Dodge Charger SE. Yeah, and we didn't call that one shit. But Nick was there. I mean, he was always there for me, and as we aged and careers in school, I moved away to England for a time, but we always stayed in touch. And I remember when Nick met Jamie. And I remember when Nick started talking to me about being a father. Because Nick started talking about being a father before India was born. And he started talking about being a father when he had Jamie in his life and Cheyenne. And I'm not a father, I have nieces, but to sit there on the phone and talk to Nick about father things and see how he was brought me a lot of joy, and it brought him a lot of joy. Nick, he loved so many things, he was good at so many things in life, but Nick was such a great father. And I remember when he called me to the hospital after India was born. I go in, and people always do some Nick things too, where all of a sudden they give you this cursive, which is now the most precious thing in their world, and she's so small, and I just hand it over, and they go, oh, thank you, but I don't want to, don't go out, just don't crush. He's always told me that he loved me, but I'm sure if I mess that up, I'm going out that But there are so many times that Nick would have called me with India on the phone, he would talk. And he always spoke so much about how much he loved me to India, how much I loved her. And for a time there, India, thought we were brothers, and we are. And she always calls me up on that. And I have all these voicemails. I had all these voicemails where I'd be working, and I get a voicemail from Nick in India, and I had some, I didn't say that, because I thought there would always be more. It's so funny that something that was so fleeting now becomes such a precious treasure. But India she is the life of his life. And when she comes to me and she runs to me, she holds me, I can feel Nick in her. Actually, sometimes I keep touching my pocket because when I was with India at the park the day that Nick was in the hospital, and we walked around the park and we had lunch, and took her to a gift shop at the Scottsdale Center for the Arts, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to get something, but honey, you can have anything you want. Whatever you want is yours. You can have it all." And she got this stuffed dog, and as we're checking it out, she got this little tiny metal heart that's on the counter. She wanted that. And he said, of course we have that here. And says, let me hold on for you. And she's been very nice enough for the past few weeks to let me hold on to that. And as I realized that as much as it was all of us,
I've known Nick for a very long time. I spent a lot of time at every one of the houses in our collection. Last time I spoke at a funeral, I totally blew it. So give me strength, hope I'll get through this and it won't fall apart. Nick was a very deep person. I don't ever really understand, but I understood his purpose, and I see it more and more. His purpose was to give positive impact, and it's clear that he's done a tremendous job at that. There's a lot of memories I have, and it just is a big swirl of different events in our life. Some of my favorite are the pastor being chased by the police helicopters, building forts, making tons of videos using Peter's smoking habit for the illusion of the fog of war. Singing all kinds of cool songs. I think we'd spend 4 hours and then had like 2 minutes of that stop action video, and we enjoyed it. We loved it so much. What I want to say too is thank you to all my family, all my friends. It's been probably one of the most difficult times in my life these last few weeks. So I appreciate all the strength, all the camaraderie, all the time spent, even if it's during this horrible outcome. But I know Nick's at peace, and I know Nick can leave this world knowing that people around him are going to carry on his legacy. They're going to be there for India and its changing. Excuse me. The one thing I remember most about Nick is he would always have the best way to explain things, especially when you can't see them yourself. I felt like a lot of times he was able to help me see beyond sort of my ignorance and my just blind nature of me and myself. He was able to help me understand the things I was doing wrong and unintentionally, and it really helped kind of. I don't know if I could have had it from anyone else. I don't listen to people very well. And he was gentle in a way and soothing to just kind of just implanted in you and stay there forever. And it still continues to blossom out of me, all those things that he's done for all of us, the things that he said to me. Again, I want to say thank you to Votichenko's for bringing me in and treating me like one of their own, and for just the close-knit families that we have. I had gone away to London during some of his hardest times, and still weighs real heavy on me, but I'm very happy I'm here now. I'm here with all my loved ones, and I'm going to miss Nick a lot. But, spend time with India, and I'll be able to remember all the great things about Nick. Love you, India. So, not much else to say. I tried to write this down, and I just threw it away because there's too much to say about Nick. Thank you for the chance to just tell a few brief stories. tell you what he meant to me, and we certainly lost one of the best people on this planet. I'm going to be forever sad about that. So, anyways, I'm going to enjoy my time with the people still around me, and hopefully my wife continues to understand. So, thank you, and I love everyone.
Today I lost my mind in a museum. It was a video installation of Linda Ronstadt. And I really miss my friend, but I don't see him. All I see is this video of Linda Ronstadt. Today the salt and sun ran down my face. After a year of hiding all my feelings, I totally lost my mind in that museum. All from a video installation of Linda Ronstadt. I've almost made it through a year of choking down my fears, but they're gone for now, all thanks to Linda Ronstadt. I almost made it through a year of choking down my fears, but they're gone for now, all thanks to Linda Ronstadt. And I can't handle astounding works of beauty. I think I love my pretty, pretty ugly. But the beauty that I witnessed in that movie was an entirely different kind of overwhelming. It was a dog that won't stop barking, like a cut
There are no hands in my family. But now, as a teacher for all these years, I wanted to start with a lesson. And mind you, when the bell rang in my classroom, I would lock the doors. So it was a lesson, but I could hear so much of what I was going to say taken from me. So I'm just going to tell it to you again. First is how we all see people so differently. I think probably a lot of you heard the story of the 5 blind men, the 5 blind wise men, and the elephant. I don't know why you have a blind wise man, but the Maharaja makes these 5 blind wise men to touch, to feel, to tell him what the elephant is. And one grabs his tail and says, oh, the elephant is something like a rope. One touches the trunk and says, the elephant is just like a snake. And the other touches his tusk. The elephant is like a spear. Somebody else gets the ear. The elephant is something like a big leaf. Legs. Elephant is like a tree. Of course, all of them are right. And none of them see the full picture. And people are so much like that we see so many different sides, and different people see different sides, or a cut jewel, and someone will see one little piece, and someone sees another, and they reflect against each other, and we see deep into someone else's heart. So, we all knew him, and we know him in different ways. And since he got sick, all of these friends came. And of course I knew him, he was my Nick, he's my kid, I know him perfectly, belongs to me. And these people, Tony coming from Boston, Sarah coming from New York, Frank from Los Angeles, man, they were all here in the drop of a hat. And why are all these people, why are they here? Why are these people care so much? And of course they cared so much because Nick cared so much. With all these people that he touched their hearts. And so much of what Alex was saying was, see this golden life, and I was suddenly seeing him, the person I thought I knew, from all his Frank's point of view, not the kid, but the man. My mom said that death is not quite as final as you think. People aren't as dead as you think. And although he just fills up my heart in every way, who he is keeps changing now. I'm learning more about him. He's more alive in some ways than he ever was. I want to tell a story of comfort to me, another lesson. And that actually goes back to a classmate of Nick's and of Matt's at Ingleside School. Her name was Shekinah Agundeju, who's Nigerian. Her name meant Great Warrior. And she was 12 years old. Very tiny girl, she weighed 85 pounds, and she had sickle cell anemia. And she just loved learning things, and she was just this wonderful, wonderful, great person. And I I just loved her. And she would have a 40-pound backpack and say, "You kind of get someone to help you," but then she'd insist on taking that backpack from class to class. And sometimes she couldn't when she had attacks. She was in so much pain she couldn't come to school. I visited her in the hospital. My mom was a nurse at Phoenix Children's Hospital. And she was great. And she died, I think it was probably the next year when she was in 8th grade. And me and Bill McIntyre went to the funeral in my church is deeply devout. They were convinced that they would see Shekinah again, no question about it. And I was really broken-hearted, I'll tell you. I was crying, because she was so wonderful. 12, 13 years old. She had the lion from the Lion King tucked in her coffin there. And I was really hurt. And the parents, I said, God, I'm 12 years old. And her parents said, no. They said, it's kind of sad, but we know we're going to see her again. And in her 12 years, think how much she's done. Think what an important person she is in 12 years. She may not have lived to 60 or 70 or 80. That is kind of the point. That was her story. And to me, that's been a great comfort over these past 25 years, as I think of people who die too young. And believe me, I'm going to miss Nick much more than I even know. But his story, even after 40 years, what I'm hearing people say, is a beautiful golden piece that's finished, even if we don't like it. It's this golden piece that lives in our hearts. And boy, are we rich and are rich knowing his friends, the people who have brought together this wonderful monument of love. In my life, what I live for is these little moments of glory. Sometimes it's the sun on the back of a hummingbird, or some of this tiny little thing that I see that gives me an insight and an appreciation of the creation that we're living in. And these are the kind of the points of life that I pray that we have. See the good and the beauty in the world. Let me see these moments of glory that cut through unexpectedly, cut through all the BS that you're all concerned about being late, whatever, and suddenly you see the sunset, or a bird, even the beautiful wing of an insect. Doesn't have to be a butterfly, it might even be something else. And so many of those moments have to do with Nick and his life. And I remember when I was young, husband, kind of got a little tummy here. We had a game, he was probably about 5 years old, that I pretended I got very angry if I ever heard the words Big Mountain, because I thought I was referring to me. So, if any cries a Big Mountain, and I turned into this furious Sasquatch mountain. And then he would come, because he had this beautiful imagination. He was probably really thinking I had it on one side of it, but he was also, you could see just the delight in his face. Here comes Big Mountain. And this is this moment that I treasure, of course. And so many of them, just his smile, my God, the way he could light up a room, his honesty. People sat up, but he was unique, and he was appreciating things, really appreciating things, and loyal, and passionate. These aren't things that die. These are things that live in us. And I think there are a lot. The river trip that we went with friends, 8 days on the Green River when he was 9, he got the paddle cut, pulled into the river, almost went under the boat. I grabbed him, pulled him out. He wasn't scared. Just another nice, exciting moment for him. And those go on and on. I don't want to go too far. In Buddhism, there's something, a certain sect from Japanese called Zen Buddhism, and it believes in these moments where we see through all the imaginary reality into the nature of the universe, have a sudden insight into things. Zen Buddhism. And I liked it when I was 12 because the idea was you didn't have to work very hard. It was kind of immediately. And one of the ways that people get this insight are these little puzzles that they tell called a koan. And one of them, it's often, what is the sound? One hand clapping. People think about this for years and years. I haven't figured out how to do this. But somehow, sometimes you this insight. The student comes to the master and says, "Master," says, "do you know the secret of life?" The master says, "Yes, I do." And the student says, "Well, can you tell me?" The master says, "No, I'm sorry, my son, can't tell you." He said, "Why can't you tell me?" Well, it wouldn't be a secret then, would it? Another one was kind of rough, but and I thought about it just for those 12. The master or the student, there's a teacher who always, when he makes an important point, always raises his finger. Now, see the wisdom of this little story I'll tell. Secretly behind his back, when he isn't paying attention, one of the students will raise his finger to the amusement of his classmates. And one day the master's made his important point, and the student raises his little finger for the amusement of his friends. The master comes over with a big knife, snicker snack, cuts the finger right off. Then he raises his finger to the master. Now, this is my lesson. And the little kid raises his finger, but it isn't there because he's been so programmed that he doesn't see the reality. And missing Nik is like that. There's so many things that people have said, just kind of, oh, if there's going to be a problem with the sound system here at the church, Nik will take care of that. When I die, Nik will be crying at my feet. When there's a big load of wood to carry, Nik is going to be thrown out over his shoulder and doing it. remember these movies of the atom bomb, and you see it go off, and it's, tremendous power, and the blast hasn't hit you yet. You know it's coming. But the little matchbox houses that blow away the trees and flying away, the paint that melts off the school bus, that's still coming for me. People say, oh, you're so strong. That's not true. This taking care of these things, what the menu is, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. That's all just to protect my heart. What's really strong is what Alice is saying, is that my heart is broken, and it will be forever. And the bigger it gets is all you people, the irony that Nik so much enjoyed, the bigger this love gets, the more it hurts. See? And it isn't even here yet. But I must say, and I have all this filled in my lecture, is that all of you, the friendship, the people here, and the people that have come around at this moment, have given me great comfort. And I see into the spirit and the divinity of this moment. It isn't sad. Sad is a small word. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's mountains are falling, the rivers are stopped, the sun is stopped in the sky. Not sad. Devastating. But it's also glorious. It's these moments where we break through this everyday BS and get looking at the truth of things, and it has enriched our lives. Alan says, the little pebble into the pond, and in some ways, in ways we don't even know, will be kinder, more compassionate, more humorous, more musical people. And so he will live on. Will I ever see him again? I don't think so. But I hope so. And in this incredible world where everything is so unlikely, that life itself is such an unlikely thing, who knows? But thank you all for being here, making my heart so full, and we'll have a paid lecture later on this evening.
Nik Votichenko, who's not really my sister, that would be too weird, but she's like a sister. Who's married to Peter, as I was, and who raised Nik and made him, as much as I did, made him who he is. And I asked her to stand here with me. I'm the one on the program, but, well, first I asked her to stand with me so I didn't throw up and cry, but then I asked her to stand with me because we are his mothers. We are both his mothers. And I think I'm going to let you talk, and then I'll talk after you so that, because you've got the walker.
I apologize immensely for making myself the center of attention here. I think it really should be for Nick and his beautiful family. First off, I clearly just want to say thank you, Paul, so much for all your love and all your caring and all the beautiful support that you've given Nick, of course, over all the years, but also just because you're here, and you're here for Nick, who loved you all so very much. I don't want to take any more time. You've heard it all, I'm sure. There's not a lot more that I could express that would really be very meaningful. The words that I really want to say, I couldn't even begin to put them into words that would really be meaningful. I just can't begin to do it. But thank you all for being here, and my gosh, you are all so very beautiful. I just want to start off just simply by saying that I would give everything I would have to have Nick back here. Everything. For me, he was such a huge part of my world. I don't have the grace, nor the eloquence, nor the dignity that all of you had here that spoke about Nick person. But I'm just going to give you a little sort of history. I met my beautiful stepson, Nick, when he was 7 years old. He was a wide-eyed, happy child with a great enthusiasm for life. Nick loved anything physical, a natural athlete, and terrific with his stepdad, Tom, and all of his Aikido teachers. Nick was proud and happy with his families and all the extra presents. I heard that every holiday. How happy he was because he just got an abundance of gifts from all of us. Peter, his dad, and I were always loyal to Nick through difficult times, many difficult times, and good times. Nick was passionate about his music, guitar, and band. The family enjoyed his many gigs. Nick continued in his Miss World, honing his skills as an expert sound man, with famous bands traveling many parts of the world. Nick met the love of his life, Jamie, and started a beautiful family. Without a doubt, Nick was the most loving, engaged, and attentive dad to his precious daughter, India. The families came together in Terry Alex in India, spent hours playing hide and go seek at our various houses, swimming and playing cards, India always winning at concentration. Never could beat her, she was so good. Those days always included a big, delicious barbecue with friends, often with Nick's famous chicken recipes. They were wonderful. My love for my beloved Nick is deep and unending. With a beautiful bond, I will always remember his kindness and willingness to help out family and friends any time of the day. Anytime. He was there for us. Nick's last caring kindness was to be at the ER with me with a life-threatening intestinal surgery 2 days before his medical crisis. My dearest Nick, my baby, your bright spirit was the light of our life. Goodbye for now, my darling boy. We'll always love you and rejoice in your sweet memory. Amen.
I don't know how to follow the thought of the war, all the evidence we've heard here this morning, but so I'm just going to tell you a couple of things. Reverend Dance was talking about us. I was a member of this congregation for a time, and Nick and Alex both went to what I call Sunday school, Chicago. And so I would come with Nick's grandmother, the beloved Helen Votichenko, who many of you knew, who was just one of the most wonderful women I've ever known, and so funny. And you can tell from Peter's remark about Kate lecture later on, he is her son. He learned so, and she and I would come in and we would take Nick back to the Sunday school area, and we would leave him there with a lot of encouraging remarks, and we would walk around the circular hall to come in here. And he would come screaming away from the nursery or the Sunday school and grab us, don't leave, no, please, and he never would stay in there. I thought maybe he was a Catholic. We just didn't know. And we would sit, Helen and I would sit back there with Nick on a seat between us, and he would alternate and would stay in the service because we couldn't live back there. We did not believe he was good. He wasn't everything there, so he would go Granny's to seat to my lap, to Granny's to mine, or sometimes just fall asleep with his feet in my lap. I said, little Granny's lap, she loved him so much. And Alex, later on, I think the next year, I was the, I don't know what you call it, facilitator or some teacher of a youth group. And this guy was in the youth group. And I don't know how exactly, but he got to play the role of the serpent in the Garden of Eden. He got the best role. Had nothing to do with his mother, but his costume, I have a picture of it, was something between the Grim Reaper, it wasn't a serpent at all, Grim Reaper and Darth Vader. And we were out in the sculpture garden, that's where we did all the rehearsals for this play, which I don't think anybody ever saw, but that was the point. We were just, do you remember? No. He remembers making an outfit with somebody. One of the other things that I want to tell you is the origin of Nick's name. It's been said here a lot of times, Nicholas Frederick Casimir Votichenko. It's a very difficult name, don't you think? Oh, to put that all on a name tag. Well, Nicholas, because he was born December 21st, obviously, St. Nick. And then Peter and I had a beloved 8-year-old son, Alex, and of course we wanted him to feel some participation in his little brother's birth. Alex really protested with the idea of having another child in the house. He said that it would ruin his life because he would never be able to do his homework. And I said to him, you don't do your homework. And so So Peter said, what would you like to, you can have the middle name. What middle name would you like for your brother? And somehow I thought, he said, Frederick. After his hamster, who had fortunately, he had a cat named Frederica, and my dog was named Fred, so we could buy that. But really, it was named after his hamster. And then Casimir came as I was giving birth to Nick. First, the doctor said, wait until after, it was about 15 quarter of midnight, and the doctor said, wait until after midnight, because then we'll have to immediately charge you for the previous day. And I said, cool. And then, as I'm giving birth at 10:12 to this man who came to me, the doctor stopped. Do you remember this? The doctor stopped and he said, I know what we should call him. I said, what? And he said, Casimir. That's the Polish name of one of the three wise men. And so I think because I was in painting in a hurry, I said, yeah. Awesome. Nicholas Frederick Casimir. Perfect. Can we get on this? And so that was a wonderful name. I just thought it was a terrific name. A friend of mine had my phone, I'm sorry, so tacky, but a friend of mine sent me something yesterday. Karen Marshall Fox from Palestine. Karen Marshall Fox. She was a college friend at Peterson. She sent me this. She said, I hope this short poem provides a way through, provides a sense of a way through. It is by W.S. Moroni. It says, your absence has come through like thread through a needle. Everything I do is stitched with its cover. I don't think I will ever lose what I want to say to Nicolene, my Nicolene. I am so grateful that you chose me to come into the world through. I say this to Alex on his birthday. Thank you for choosing me to come into the world through. I have nothing to do with it. I have no. And Nicholas, I'm so grateful to you. I don't know how I live with that, but somehow we do. Thank you, all of you, for being here. I know this is ghastly long, but a lot of people loved it and have a lot to say. And so, I appreciate you more than you can know. I appreciate all my sons, Tony and Marshall, the ones I can't remember back. The boys who played with Nick, played like Nick, did whatever with Nick, and I had no idea what they were doing. They were doing in the basement, Tom's in my house, I knew that, so, with their bands, and they were loud voices, but they are my sons, and I adore them, and I'm so grateful. Who did that? Tony Marshall, Matt. Frank Gonzalez, and all the rest of you, whose names I will never remember because I was so stunned by everything. So, Nick loved you. He loved you. And being here today is such a testament to how I loved him. So thank you.
I do want to say that, I want to say thank you to all of you that have taken time to get to know my brother while he is here on this world. I'm Alex. Alex, Nick's brother. But I'm very thankful for his life. I'm very thankful that my brother came into this world and that he lived. I'm thankful that there was someone like my brother Nick, that he came here, that he had a life. It might not have been that way, you know? There's been times going through this experience with my brother dying where I kind of began to look at it like a miracle that he lived at all, or something just really incredible and amazing that he lived, you know? And that there is a soul like him here, just the way that his unique presence of him, that there could be no other person ever like him, you know? And we got to know that person, and I feel very, very grateful for that. And I want to try and do my best to learn about my brother throughout the rest of my life, try and sort of study and reflect and get to know and talk to people that got to experience my brother, because every one of us, we all knew the same person, you know? Nik Votichenko. But we all knew someone unique for each one of us, a different person. So there's a way that I try and think about it, and if I'm able to put my mind that way and focus, I could try and continue to get to know who my brother was throughout the rest of my life by talking and engaging with all of his different relatives, you know? Even starting with my mom and my dad and my step-parents here too. I want to acknowledge, you know, my father and my mother and my stepfather and my stepmother and my uncle here too, just for all the love and care and encouragement that they showed to my younger brother throughout his life. Because that's also part of this person that we know, you know, it's the way it is that we're all affecting each other as we go through this life. And, you know, I also want to acknowledge my brother's dear friend circle, you know. I want to try and look through and see each and every one of them in here, but I really was just incredibly impressed to see the way that to see the way that Nick's friends came around when he got sick recently. They did not leave his side, and they kept a very, very strong prayer and vigil around my brother when he started going through this. You know, pretty much from the moment that this process began with Nick, when he went into the hospital and everything, it's a very, very, very powerful thing to me. I don't know that I've never witnessed something like this. It's very powerful. This power of the human soul, what we have, it's really powerful. I'm in awe, you know, of this power. And a lot of that is this power of love. It's not something that can fit into a word. It's something really, really powerful. I believe in it a lot. And I've seen so much of that come around. So my brother, he really, really shined that a lot, you know, with his ups, his downs, with everything. Like the way that he was when he was really little, that brightness, he kind of was like the sun came into the world or something, just shining. And he continued shining that way. And to sort of see the boomerang effect coming back around when Nick got sick recently, of the way that people were coming around and seeing the way he conducted himself and the way that he interacted and was real loving and encouraging to people, to see that coming back around towards the end, you know, where he's going to leave the world. It showed me something about how he lived that made me feel good about his life. That he really, the way I imagine it, I want my brother to live a long time, you know. The way I imagined it, oh, he's gonna be there, we're gonna be there when my mom and dad, when they have to go, we're gonna be there together. You know, that's not the way it's going. And I'm trying to, I wanna be in that frame of mind to accept the reality, not the way I imagined, but to go with it, you know, to go with this. And trust in that. Life is not how we expect, not how I expect. There's things, each and every one of you hear my voice, gone through things that I couldn't even imagine. And I bet there's been times where some of you felt there's no way you could have that strength to keep going forward because the different things that you saw that just seemed impossible. I hope that we can all continue collectively to go forward. But so, you know, like I was saying, this is not how I imagined things. But then part of me, when I was there, I'm seeing the way things came back around, the love, and sort of seeing my brother's actions and his will, like the way that he conducted himself in this world, the way seeing some of that being reflected back, basically at his deathbed, at that vigil. I felt something and saw something like this. My brother, he lived a very, very, very full life, you know, and he touched a lot of people in a positive way, and I do feel there's something to that because we live, and then we're carried this way, and then we travel off. Our spirit goes, we weren't here, we're here, now we're not here. But then the way that we conducted ourselves, there's still this like ripple effect going on from all the people that we interacted with from the world, the way we touched it, the way that we were thinking about it when we touched it, the things that we were doing. And I feel good for the impact that my brother has had into this world, the way that he put his hands into this creation, his effort, the love that he put into things. I feel very good about it, and you know, I do want to ask you, you know, to continue to try and be there for one another, and to kind of pray and think, and just let your love flow and continue to support. Let's continue to support one another with what we're going through here. You know, if you're thinking about that and you just kind of lose it and start crying, you want to start speaking in tongues, gnashing your teeth, pull your hair, and scream. Throw something, all that kind of stuff. I think it's good to do that. And if you feel like Christine said, if you feel like laughing or crazy, or go and you want to tear your clothes off and run through the bushes and get all scratched up, or drink water, any of that kind of stuff, I think you should do that and feel good about it. So if you feel like you're going crazy regarding and dying, like let yourself go crazy a little bit. Like don't go crazy, like hurt yourself or hurt someone else. I know you've got some common sense, you do common sense, but let yourself go beyond common sense too a little bit and feel it, because it's that real, you know? And that's how important he is, and all you are.
Good afternoon. I've known the Votichenkos for most of my life. It's been, I would say, 60 years. And I've grown up with Alex, Nick, since they were really small. And I had the great time I had to spend with Nick. And I know giving up a son before the parents pass away, it's the toughest thing one can do, especially when you see poor Nick on life support. I have been there, I've seen it, but it's the best gift one can give. He might be gone, but I think he's happy now with his grandparents, Helen and Taras. And I know the heart is broken, but with time, everything heals for a reason. So with that said, I miss all you guys. I love the parents, and especially Alex, who has been through thick and thin. And last but not least, Terry, the uncle of Nick, was his best friend. And he also leaves behind another uncle, which is Michael. And I'm pretty sure he's with us at this time. But with that said, thank you so much.
I'm Nick's stepfather. Give me some more of that Mucinex. There's a word in Japanese called kinsuba, and I think Nick would appreciate this. The word means two things. One is an art form, and one is a philosophy. If one in Japan has a precious piece of pottery and it falls down and is broken, kinsuba is the process by which it gets put back together piece by piece. The lacquer contains either powdered silver or powdered gold. And in the long process of putting it together, there's a new bowl, and all the flaws and fractures can be seen, not hidden. And when we put our, I think, broken hearts together, that lacquer that we can use is all the best that Nick loved. Family, music, art, sculpture, history, new ideas, the latest cool technology, and last but not least, the chickens. For those who don't know, there were chickens at the house, and he was quite happy with those. Yes, outside the house. Yeah. Thank you. I could go on about how much I will miss him. He came into my life around age 7 or 8, I think, something like that. My life has changed forever. And, but he's still with us. When we think of the best things he loved, that little lacquer in our broken hearts gets stronger. By the way, that new bowl is now stronger than the original bowl. That's the wonder of that particular technology. So I think it's a nice metaphor, something that will help me.
My dad was the very best dad in the whole wide world. He was just the right one in my heart. That's because he was just my heart. And he was the bestest dad in the whole wide world. I just liked him because he was the best dad in the whole wide world. He was the really best. I'm so sad because he died.
Yeah.
And when he died, I was super duper sad because he died. Because it's the saddest thing because he died. He was just the so best dad in the whole wide world.
Hey, everyone. So, I have known Pops since 2010. Yeah, I remember we met on Valentine's Day, and the funniest thing, I ate the flower. Remember that? And yeah, me and him, he loved to cuddle with people, and he was the best cuddler, and sometimes we fart in our sleep. So yeah, Pops was really excellent. Remember him? Pops? Yeah, I remember when we used to film each other's mouths. And say, and I'd zoom it in like a and I remember, he was all like, I remember when he was all like, But then, when I found out when he was about to pass away, I was like, oh my God, this cannot be happening. And then it really happened. I was like, oh. I was really sad and depressed at that moment. And I was like, Pops, please don't go. I love you. You were special to me in India. Farewell, Pops. Rest in peace. December 21st, 1980. February 16th, 2020. I love you, Pops. RIP.